Imagine waking up tomorrow morning. You walk into your kitchen, still sleepy, still following your daily routine. You prepare your usual cup of tea or coffee. The cup is warm in your hands. The smell feels familiar. Everything seems normal until you take the first sip. Something is missing. You pause. You take another sip. And then it hits you. There is no sugar. You look around the kitchen. You open the cabinet. You check the shelf. The sugar jar is empty. Not just empty, gone. Completely gone. No sugar for your drink. No biscuits to dip. No sweets. No chocolate. No soft drinks. No cakes. At first, it feels like a small inconvenience. A minor problem. Something you can adjust to. But then a deeper feeling appears. Discomfort. And an unexpected question forms in your mind. Why does this feel so disturbing? Sugar is not just food. Sugar is memory. Sugar is emotion. Sugar is habit. From early childhood, sugar enters our lives quietly. Candies given as rewards. Sweets during festivals. Cakes on birthdays. Desserts after meals. Slowly, sugar becomes linked with happiness, success, love, and comfort. When we are happy, we eat something sweet. When we are sad, we crave something sweet. When we are stressed, sugar feels like relief. Without realizing it, sugar becomes emotional support. But here is something most people never pause to ask. What is sugar actually doing inside our body? Every single day. In the modern world, sugar is no longer rare. It is everywhere. Not only in desserts or obvious sweets, but hidden inside foods we consume daily. Bread, sauces, ketchup, breakfast cereals, flavored yogurt, packaged snacks, fruit juices, even products labeled as healthy often contain added sugar. Many people believe they are eating safely. They believe they are making good choices. Yet sugar enters their body again and again, quietly, invisibly, consistently. And because it tastes good, we do not question it. Because it is common, we accept it. Because everyone consumes it, we assume it must be safe. But here is something most people never pause to ask. What is sugar actually doing inside our body? Every single day. Then came industrialization. Sugar became cheap to produce, easy to transport, simple to mix into any product. Food companies quickly realized one thing: sugar sells. It improves taste. It increases cravings. It brings customers back. And slowly, sugar moved from luxury to routine. Today, the average human consumes many times more sugar than the body actually needs. And the body pays the price. Not immediately, not dramatically, but silently. Sugar does not attack like poison. It does not announce itself. Instead, it works quietly inside the blood, inside the hormones, inside the brain, day after day. This video is not about blaming sugar. It is not about fear or extreme rules. It is about awareness. Because when something becomes so normal, so common, and so deeply rooted in daily life, we stop questioning it. We stop noticing its effects. We stop asking whether it is helping us or slowly harming us. So today, let us ask a simple but powerful question. What would happen if sugar disappeared from our lives? Would human beings suffer? Would our bodies collapse? Or would something unexpected happen? Something healthier? Something clearer? Something better? This is not just a story about food. This is a story about control. And this journey begins now. To understand what sugar really does to us, we must go inside the human body. The moment you eat something sweet, sugar enters your bloodstream very quickly. Unlike fats or proteins, sugar does not take time. It moves fast. Within minutes, your blood sugar level begins to rise. Your body notices this immediately. To control this sudden rise, the pancreas releases a hormone called insulin. Insulin's job is simple but critical. It pushes sugar out of the blood and into the cells, where it can be used as energy. At this moment, you feel good. You feel active. You feel alert. You feel mentally sharp. This is why sugar feels powerful. But this energy comes with a hidden cost. Sugar energy is fast, but it does not last. Soon after the spike, blood sugar levels begin to fall. When they fall too quickly, the body reacts again. You start to feel tired. Your focus drops. Hunger returns, even if you ate recently. And the brain sends a clear message. Eat more sugar. This is how the sugar cycle begins. You eat sugar. You feel energized. Energy crashes. You crave more. This cycle can repeat multiple times in a single day. Over weeks and months, the body gets trapped in this pattern. Now let's talk about insulin. When insulin is released too often, the cells slowly stop responding properly. This condition is called insulin resistance. The pancreas tries to compensate by releasing even more insulin. Sugar that cannot be used immediately gets stored as fat. This is not because a person eats too much food. It is because the body is overwhelmed by sugar signals. Over time, this process increases the risk of weight gain, type 2 diabetes, and metabolic disorders. But sugar does not only affect the body. It deeply affects the brain. Sugar activates the brain's reward system, the same system that responds to pleasure and habit formation. Each time you consume sugar, the brain releases chemicals that make you feel good. The brain remembers this feeling. This is why sugar cravings are strong. This is why just one bite rarely stays one bite. This is not weakness. This is how the human brain works. Excess sugar also affects mood. Rapid blood sugar changes can lead to irritability, anxiety, and low emotional stability. Many people feel sudden mood shifts during the day without understanding the reason. They blame stress. They blame work. They blame age. But often, sugar is quietly involved. Another hidden effect of sugar is inflammation. When too much sugar circulates in the body, it increases inflammatory responses. Inflammation is the root of many chronic conditions. It is linked to heart disease, joint pain, skin problems, fatigue, brain fog. The damage does not happen overnight. It builds slowly, silently, year after year. Sugar also affects hunger signals. High sugar intake disrupts hormones that tell the body when it is full. This leads to overeating, not because the body needs food, but because signals are confused. The result is constant hunger without real nourishment. Perhaps the most dangerous part of sugar is that it does not feel dangerous. There is no immediate pain, no warning sign, no instant alarm. Sugar does not attack loudly. It whispers. And because it whispers, most people never realize what is happening inside them. The body is incredibly intelligent, can adapt, can heal, but only if it is not constantly overwhelmed. Understanding what sugar does inside us is the first step toward regaining balance. Because once you see the mechanism clearly, sugar stops being just sweet. It becomes something you understand and something you can control. Now let us imagine something unusual. What if sugar disappeared tomorrow? Not slowly, not gradually, but completely. No added sugar in any food. No sweets. No soft drinks. No desserts. No hidden sugar in packaged products. What would happen to the human body? The first few days would be difficult. The body would immediately notice the absence of sugar. For years, it has depended on quick sugar energy. When that supply suddenly stops, the body reacts. People would feel headaches. Fatigue would appear. Mood swings would become common. Cravings would feel intense. This phase would feel uncomfortable and confusing. But it is important to understand something clearly. This is not illness. This is withdrawal. The body is not breaking down. It is readjusting. For a long time, sugar controlled energy levels. Now the body must learn how to function without constant sugar stimulation. During the first week, many people would feel restless. Concentration might drop. Emotional sensitivity might increase. Small things could feel overwhelming. This is the body asking for what it used to rely on. By the second week, something interesting begins to happen. The body starts adapting. Energy levels become more stable. Instead of sudden highs and crashes, energy becomes smoother throughout the day. Hunger begins to change. People feel full for longer periods. The body starts using stored fat and natural glucose more efficiently. This is not magic. This is biology returning to balance. Over the long term, the benefits become deeper. Weight begins to stabilize naturally, not through extreme dieting, but through balanced metabolism. Insulin sensitivity improves. Inflammation reduces. The risk of lifestyle diseases slowly declines. Skin health improves. Dental issues reduce. Energy feels more consistent, even during busy days. Life inside the body becomes calmer. But this does not mean life becomes joyless. Many people fear that without sugar, life would feel dull or tasteless. This fear comes from habit, not reality. Human taste adapts. Pleasure does not disappear. It shifts. People begin enjoying natural sweetness. They learn to appreciate food more mindfully. Satisfaction comes from nourishment, not excess. It is also important to be realistic. Not everyone would experience the same speed of change. Each body is different. History, habits, and lifestyle matter. But the overall pattern remains the same. The body struggles first, then it adapts, then it improves. This thought experiment teaches us something important. Sugar is not essential for survival. What is essential is balance. When sugar disappears, the body does not collapse. It recalibrates. It returns to a more natural rhythm, one that humans lived with for thousands of years. Understanding this helps us see sugar differently. It is not an enemy, but it is also not harmless. Sugar is powerful, and anything powerful must be handled with awareness. In the next part, we will look beyond the body. We will explore what would happen to society, culture, and the world if sugar truly disappeared. Now let us move beyond the human body. If sugar disappeared from our lives, the change would not stop at health or energy levels. The effects would spread across society, culture, economy, and even the way we celebrate and socialize. Sugar is deeply woven into modern civilization. The first major impact would be on the food industry. Today, a huge portion of processed food relies on sugar. It is added not only for sweetness, but to improve texture, increase shelf life, and make products more addictive. If sugar disappeared, many popular products would instantly lose their appeal. Food companies would be forced to change their formulas, redesign their products, or disappear altogether. This would not happen quietly. There would be resistance. There would be economic pressure. There would be confusion in the market. But eventually, the industry would adapt. We would see a shift toward natural foods. Fresh fruits, vegetables, grains, and minimally processed meals would become more common. Artificial flavors would lose importance. Taste would come from ingredients, not chemistry. Marketing would also change. Instead of promoting sweetness, brands would promote nourishment, balance, and long-term health. This would be a major cultural shift. The healthcare system would also feel the impact. A large percentage of modern diseases are lifestyle-related, and sugar plays a central role in many of them. Diabetes, obesity, heart disease, and metabolic disorders place enormous pressure on hospitals and medical budgets worldwide. Without excessive sugar consumption, the number of chronic patients would slowly decrease. Doctors would treat fewer preventable diseases. Healthcare costs would reduce over time. Medical resources could focus more on unavoidable illnesses. This change would not be immediate, but it would be long-lasting. Now let us talk about culture. Sugar is not just food. It is tradition. Birthdays are marked by cakes. Weddings are celebrated with sweets. Festivals revolve around desserts. Hospitality is shown through sweet dishes. If sugar disappeared, many people fear that joy would disappear with it. But history shows us something different. Culture always adapts. Celebrations existed before refined sugar, and they would continue without it. Traditions would evolve. New forms of celebration would emerge. Pleasure would not vanish. It would transform. Social habits would change too. People would become more conscious of what they eat. Meals would become more intentional. Eating would slow down. Instead of constant snacking, people would eat when they are truly hungry. Food would become nourishment again, not just entertainment. This could also improve social connections. Shared meals would become more meaningful. Conversations would replace cravings. There would also be psychological changes. Many people use sugar as emotional support during stress, sadness, or exhaustion. Without sugar, people would need to find healthier ways to manage emotions. This might feel uncomfortable at first, but over time, emotional awareness would increase. People would recognize stress signals earlier and respond with rest, movement, or connection instead of sugar. This could improve mental resilience across society. Education systems would also evolve. Children would grow up with different taste preferences. Schools would teach nutrition with more clarity. Awareness would start earlier. Future generations would not miss sugar the way we think they would, because habits are learned. What feels normal depends on exposure. Of course, not all changes would be easy. There would be resistance. There would be nostalgia. There would be debate. But human history shows that when a habit causes harm, societies eventually adapt. Sugar disappearing would not end happiness. It would challenge comfort. And sometimes that is exactly what growth requires. In the final part, we will address the most important question of all. Do humans really need sugar? And if not, how can we live wisely with it instead of being controlled by it? Now we come to the most important question of all. Do humans actually need sugar? The honest answer is simple. The human body does not need added sugar to survive. What the body needs is glucose, a natural form of energy that comes from fruits, vegetables, grains, and whole foods. For thousands of years, humans lived healthy lives without refined sugar. The problem is not sweetness. The problem is excess. Somewhere along the way, sugar stopped being occasional and became constant. It moved from celebration into daily routine, from special moments into every meal, from choice into habit. And habits, when left unquestioned, slowly take control. This is where many people misunderstand the idea of removing sugar. This is not about punishment. This is not about extreme restriction. This is not about living without joy. It is about regaining control. Because when sugar controls your energy, your mood, your hunger, and your emotions, then sugar is no longer just food. It becomes a master. The truth is, most people are not addicted to sugar itself. They are addicted to the feeling it provides, the quick comfort, the instant relief, the temporary escape. But these feelings fade quickly, and the body always asks for more. This is why moderation feels difficult. The goal is not to completely eliminate sugar forever. The goal is awareness. Awareness of how much you consume. Awareness of where it hides. Awareness of how it affects you personally. When awareness enters, automatic behavior disappears. Small changes matter more than dramatic promises. Reducing sugar slowly, reading food labels, choosing whole foods more often, allowing taste to reset naturally. These steps may seem simple, but their impact is powerful. The body responds quickly when given respect. One of the most interesting things that happens when sugar intake reduces is that pleasure returns to simpler things. Fruit tastes sweeter. Food feels more satisfying. Energy feels calmer and more stable. Life slows down slightly, but in a good way. Instead of chasing highs and crashes, the body finds balance. There is also a deeper lesson here. Sugar teaches us how modern life works. Many things today are designed to feel good instantly, but harm us slowly. Fast food, constant notifications, endless scrolling, artificial rewards. Sugar is just one example. Learning to manage sugar is also learning to manage impulses. It is learning patience. It is learning balance. It is learning long-term thinking in a short-term world. This does not mean sugar is evil. It means sugar is powerful. And power always requires responsibility. A knife can cook food or cause harm. Fire can warm a home or destroy it. Sugar is no different. The real danger is not sugar itself. The real danger is consuming something daily without understanding its effect. That is how silent problems grow. So the final message is not about fear. It is about choice. You don't need to fear sugar. You don't need to hate sugar. You only need to stop letting it decide for you. When you control sugar, something interesting happens. You regain control over energy. You regain control over mood. You regain control over hunger. And slowly, you regain control over your health. So ask yourself, not with guilt, but with honesty, is sugar serving me, or am I serving sugar? Because the sweetest thing in life is not sugar. The sweetest thing is awareness. And awareness, once gained, never leaves you.
Subscribe Info Beyond Borders now for more mind-blowing knowledge.